Our new Heroic SMS. This one is to get the new primes, which, to be perfectly honest, are not all that great. Prime interceptor damage, Prime X-Borg credit efficiency, that one's okay. Prime Defiant cost efficiency, If you get any two of those primes that are worth 500 points apiece, it automatically finishes your event for you. I'm pretty sure they released one of them already, like Prime Interceptor damage. I think it's been out for like a week or so I don't think they could make this event require you to get both. But for people who did get this last week, I'm sure they're kind of pissed off because they're like, oh man, yeah. Anywho, rewards you're talking about, big chunks of dilithium and gas, depending on your ops level. You can also complete any research for 10 points, so if you complete 100 researches, you would finish the whole thing. Probably not realistic, but maybe you could get 10 or 25 researches done over the next week. Anything counts as a research, so you're talking about all of your different research trees. All of your different research trees, so you can do any of your researches in here. Those will count as researches. Anything over here in terms of like ship abilities that you might unlock or ship skins, these count as researches, I believe, as well. As do any Bajoran favors. These also count as researches in your Bajoran store there. So over the next week, you can mix and match some things. Maybe you get 10 done, maybe you get 25 done, maybe you go crazy and get like 50 done. If you're just looking for some quick and cheap researches, things you probably haven't done yet, some of this stuff in here for like upgrading the Botany Bay, getting the warp or impulse speed and stuff on it, you might have some skills here left to do to fill in a few levels, and these are pretty quick to get done. So, or some of this star-based research, some of these don't take very long, especially some of this stuff, 10 hours. Like, I can knock out a bunch of these real quick over the next week or so. Just try and see if you can line it up when there actually might be research events and take advantage of that. So, Balabom says you think that fleet commander skills count also. That I am not sure about. Let's find out. See if I have any fleet commander skills that I can throw some points into here. There we go. I can throw some points right there. Let's see if that counted. X-Borg research event. Would you look at that? It gave me SMS 10 points right there as well. So there you go. So these do count as well. So if you have any skill points, you can throw some skill points into some of these events. And these will also count as researches. So thank you, Balabom, for that one. That's a good call out as well. And just like that, we're already right there at almost our first milestone already. So who's private messaging me? What's this about? The only way to do prime node research is to buy which prime? Prime node research. I don't know which prime that is he's referring to offhand. There's so many new primes, it's hard to keep up with all of them. Lightning Hawk says, I've never seen the prime things. Is that level locked to 35? This prototype heroic one? It may be, because I don't know what level these particular primes cost. They're probably fairly high, because X-Borg credit efficiency, you can't get for a bit, and the same thing with the Defiant one as well. So they wouldn't make sense to have before you're in your 30s. So I'm going to guess if you're at a lower level, they're probably not going to give you that event. Increase base cost efficiency of Xborg faction credits by 50%. That's a pretty good prime. That one's not bad, because a lot of the stuff is fairly expensive to get some of these stuff done, and you're also looking at needing, you know, 10 levels of a lot of these, 10 to 15 levels for many of these, or 10 levels. So being able to make them 50% cheaper certainly is going to help fill that in. It's a limited window because there's obviously only so many, a limited amount of researches in here. They could obviously add more later down the road, but it will certainly help get all of this stuff done faster, for sure. Really get you some of these extra efficiencies and things. Are the primes in territory research? So the 3 primes that are available, one right here is prime Xborg credit efficiency, we were just talking about. The other prime is for the Defiant, so that's probably here in the Starship tree. Prime Defiant ability efficiency, there's the second one. Just makes their Defiant, when you're applying the buff, it's going to make it cost less resources to use, so you can buff more things. And then the third one is probably in the combat tree, because it's that interceptor damage one. I think it's this one. But let's see if I can find it for sure. It should be right out here in the main area. Prime Interceptor Wrecking. Yeah, that's probably the one that they're selling right here, which is going to give you a damage bonus against Interceptor hostiles, or is it against Interceptor players? Let's see what we got. Prime Interceptor Wrecking. Other players. So this is a PvP bonus. So when they're using an Interceptor and you're attacking them, you're going to get a damage bonus. Last month we got the Explorer one. Does the same thing. I'm sure next month we're going to get the third one, and they'll throw it right about here probably. Prime Battleship Wrecking, so you'll do extra damage against battleships. These have not been overly popular. You know, we talked about Picard and Riker and Worf and their damage bonuses against other players, and how they're kind of limited because they're only against specific players or specific types of ships. And those are like starting at like 500%, and they still weren't all that good. So to spend $100 to get a prime that gives you 300% is less good. So I don't expect that these will be overly popular. Obviously, the people who are going to spend on anything are just going to spend because they'll take every advantage that they can get. But if you are a thrifty buyer, this is probably not the thing you want to be investing your time and money in this month. So